Hello everyone, and welcome back to another review of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Today we are taking a look at Season 7, Episode 8, After Before. So, we're going all the way, speaking of before, we're going all the way back to Season 2. We're back at Afterlife of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Gordon, who doesn't have many appearances in this episode. He's kind of used sparingly, which is fine, considering he was kind of a big antagonist of Season 2, but, it was interesting to see young Gordon back. But yeah, it's been a while. Honestly, it's been so long that the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. Afterlife Inhuman thing from Season 2 is something that I kind of honestly forget about, to be honest. It's been so long since that's been a part of the show. I mean, obviously, Inhumans have been a staple of the show. They've been around for a long while. It even led to that awful Inhumans spinoff that thankfully only ran for a short while, and then everyone's just agreed to forget about. But yeah, it's interesting going back, and then now actually trying to remember this stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. This is it's like there was even an exterior shot at night, kind of in Afterlife. I'm like, hold on, isn't this where Raina died? Is that the place where Raina gets killed later on? So it's or earlier on, timeline's tricky, but it was fun kind of taking a trip down memory lane, going back to Afterlife, and then also now this is a detail that I would have to go back to watch Season 2 to remember, but it seems like I don't remember, because I don't remember this, but I guess S.H.I.E.L.D. had another daughter, which is interesting. I mean, that kind of came out of nowhere. I thought I remembered her actually being super older than she looked, and thanks to her, healing power, and that helping her stay alive after she got cut up by Hydra and everything. So I thought I remembered something about her actually being pretty old. But I don't think anything had ever been said about her having multiple kids, which I suppose it makes sense. I suppose it makes sense that you're that old, you might have multiple kids, multiple people come into your life that you want to get together with or something like that, and it produces offspring. I guess it makes sense. Kind of came a little bit out of nowhere. It's like, ooh, that's a twist, very twisty. So that was something. Cora is this new half sister of Daisy, I suppose. So, and here comes Malik number 3, whose name I still can't remember. It's like I want to call him Henry, but that's not it. It's Nathaniel. That's it. It's Nathaniel Malik. See that? Nathaniel Malik just does not have as much of a ring to it as Gideon Malik or Wilfred Malik does. Those are bad guy names. Nathaniel Malik, there's a reason he was the dead one. There's a reason he's the dead one, is because his name isn't as cool as his brothers and his dad's. So Nathaniel Malik is just not a cool bad guy name. But he's got a cool bad guy look, though. He's rocking that new trench coat with the red lining on the inside, some leather. I'm digging the supervillain look. He's got Quake's powers. He's got the Quake powers now. So I wonder if his villain name is going to be Anarchy. I feel like that's a pretty common bad guy name. It's been used by other people before. But it could work. I could see that working. He says at the end, it's like, let's start a little anarchy. I could see that being his bad guy name. It's like, oh, we got to stop anarchy, and then Coulson having some sort of little quip about, it's like, what's with bad guys and bad villain names? It's like, really, anarchy, that's what we're going with? Okay. But yeah, so he's rocking the bad guy look, even if he doesn't have the bad guy name. Also of important note, this episode we got some more Yo-Yo backstory and some growth with her, which is interesting because we've I guess in terms of the main team, because Yo-Yo's been on the main team for a while now. She's been on the main team longer than she hasn't, because she came in Season 3? 4? Honestly, I can't remember. It's been a while. Did she come in Season 3 or Season 4? I'm honestly having trouble remembering. what it was. 'Cause season 5, of course, she got her arms cut off in the future. That never happened. But season 4, I don't know. Something to me is that, because was she around for the Hive shenanigans in season 3? Did she yo-yo then? Did she get taken under Hive's control at some point, like some of the others? Did she have to yo-yo out of that situation? She did. No, she had to have come in season 3. Pardon me, guys, while I work through my memory here. She had to have come in season 3 because Daisy was one of the ones who helped her near the beginning, because Daisy was already inhuman. And at the beginning of season 4, Daisy was on the lam, and she was, and that's when she was kind of doing her vigilante stuff, and then she ran into Ghost Rider. So yeah, I guess Yo-Yo came in season 3. Thinking it out, process of elimination. How does this work? So yeah, Yo-Yo came in season 3, so she's been on the main cast longer than she has not. But still, she is sort of kind of the character that we knew the least about in terms of some backstory. We knew the important details, but the whole accidentally got her uncle killed thing, and she didn't have her powers back then, obviously. But it was interesting to see her as the kid come out of that closet and yo-yo her. It's like, she didn't have her powers, but that's what she does with her powers. Is she went to a place, she went back. It's pretty simple, but it's kind of cool to see origin of her powers, sort of, kind of. Terrigen doesn't necessarily look into your past and go, okay, what would be a character-defining power to give this person based on their traumatic past? That's not how Terrigen Mist works. But it was kind of cool to see that setup. It'd be kind of like if Peter Parker was obsessed with spiders or something, and he just so happened to get bit by a radioactive spider to turn to Spider-Man, and it'd be, what are the odds? But but no, it was kind of cool to see that it's not like yo-yoing was her thing before she got powers. It was just that one time, and of course it's something that she ended up regretting because it led to the death of her uncle. That was what is it with, speaking of Peter Parker, what is it with uncles and being terrible around stopping people with guns? That guy totally got Uncle Ben. He totally got Uncle Ben. I'm just now realizing this. The struggle was even the exact same way it looked in The Amazing Spider-Man from 2012. It's like, I'm going to try to push this out of the way, but then it ends up getting pushed into my chest by mistake, and then the guy fires it point blank, so I'm dead. That poor guy, he totally got Uncle Ben. So that's unfortunate. Poor Yo-Yo. But I suppose we can't really call her Yo-Yo anymore, because I said this when it came to so yeah, of course she manages to figure out that she doesn't have to yo-yo, she can just go. So I said, she's not yo-yo anymore, she's just go. And she can just, she's almost like a normal speedster now. She can run really fast and end up at a location. I suppose she probably still has the capability, now that she's kind of worked through that mental block, she probably still does have the capability to yo-yo if she needs to, because it's like, what's really the difference between running to a place and then running back? Now that she's figured out how to do it again, now she can run to a place and then run back. It's not really going to be that much different. So yeah, it's cool to see Yo-Yo's powers expand a little bit more. And, it'd be cool if we could call her Go-Go, but that name is taken by a member of Big Hero 6, and that's a totally different side of Marvel. Side note, Big Hero 6, the series, seasons 1 and 2 on Disney+. Watch it. Great show. Really, it's in some ways I think it's better than the movie, but that's a topic for another day. If you liked Big Hero 6 the movie, watch Big Hero 6 the show. It's good. Anyway, yeah, so so like last episode kind of centered on Mac and Deke, this episode centered more on May and Yo-Yo. We got a little bit more from the rest of the cast than we did last episode, but still, this was kind of a cast light episode, and it just focused on two characters, and of course special guest stars Jia-Ying and Gordon and all of her Inhuman buddies at Afterlife. So that was interesting. we got a little bit of insight into some more of their characters. Coulson is obviously still trying to. I mean, it kind of got pushed to the side a little bit, but there were more pressing matters at the time. But obviously, he's still trying to deal with the fact that he's alive again and not dead, especially after he sacrificed himself again and ended up in a VCR for a couple years. So, I mean, he woke up without legs. He wasn't particularly happy about that. He's not happy that he has to turn himself off to recharge. He's still trying to come to grips with all this. So that's obviously that's his big season-long arc, is coming to grips with being a robot now. Which, again, is funny because we all thought that one of the theories back in the day when Season 1 was going on is that he was an LMD back then. Of course, that proved to be false. Now I guess Coulson's been an LMD twice now, and then back in Season 4 when we had the LMD crisis. So that's kind of interesting. Of course, that one knew he was an LMD, and that he was evil. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, at this point in the season, Fitz's absence is really starting to be felt. I'm really missing Fitz. Simmons is obviously really missing Fitz. I can't wait to have him back. I really miss him. I think that, I mean, the guy that plays Fitz, whose name I won't even attempt to pronounce because it's Ian did something or other. I'm sorry, guy. I can't pronounce that. He is such a phenomenal actor, and I think he's been finding a lot of success recently because of his stuff because of his work on S.H.I.E.L.D. So he's been going and doing other stuff, which all power to him. But I think that maybe was interfering with the schedule for filming on S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7, so they had to give him a smaller role, which it's like, okay, hey, you're finding success. Good for you, buddy, but could you be on S.H.I.E.L.D. more? Because I really miss you on S.H.I.E.L.D. I want you back. Come on, Fitz, where are you? So I can't wait to have Fitz back because it's been a little lonely without him, and it'll be good to have him back. There was a funny moment when I was watching this with my family where Daisy and Coulson looked at each other, and I can't remember which one said it, but it was Daisy or Coulson. One of them said, "It's like we're pretty beat up, aren't we? We aren't doing so hot." Something along the lines of that. And my sister said, "Well, yeah, you're not. It's mid-season. You guys are never doing good around mid-season," which was really funny. We've been watching this show long enough that even my sister, someone who doesn't particularly always care for the comic bookiness of Marvel and stuff and sci-fi and stuff like that, even it's funny that she's picked up on the meta-ness of the story arcs of S.H.I.E.L.D. and how things go because we've been watching this show for so long. So that's really funny. So yeah, and speaking of comic booky sci-fi-ness, next week they're going to be stuck in a time storm, I think is what Deke said. So this is going to be just like maybe all of history going at once, and then maybe they get spit back out in their regular timeline, or back in the present or something like that. Hopefully, because we still kind of need a resolution to the lingering thread of that one guy from the lighthouse in the future being brought to life, but not really, through the magic from last season, and then him being injured, and then being wheeled away in the middle of the LMD assault. We kind of need resolution on that. So we got to get back to the future at some point. Dun, 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 dun. Honestly, I'm surprised they haven't done a Back to the Future joke yet, or have they? Maybe, I don't know. That may have gotten a one-off mention in an earlier episode. But anyway, so yeah, we need resolution on that. So, and I feel like that, we do all this time travel stuff. It makes sense to end back in the present day when things would have left off. And just like what about Piper? It's been last time we saw her was last season. At this point she's a notable supporting character. So what's going on with her? So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this episode. It was fun. This is a show I really enjoy, so I don't really have too many big complaints. There was a lot of fun moments, a lot of fun character stuff. I'm eager to see where the rest of this goes. So I will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.